Yes, my baby just turned 1 and I haven't heard a word from his father. Well, this feels strange to say the least. I don't really know where to start. I guess I will just reintroduce myself. Hi, my name is Paisley. I have 3 young children. I am a stay-at-home mom currently. I don't have the means to go to work physically at this moment. I will get more into that. I'm gonna trail off into different things here, so I'm just gonna try to stay on track. Anyone who is one of my subscribers, I owe you an apology. I vanished without saying a word, and that was 2 years ago, or over 2 years ago. I am here to explain what happened, why I stopped filming, why I stopped uploading. There's a lot to it, so buckle up, get ready. This is going to be a long video. Also, I am currently sitting in the parking lot waiting for my daughter to be done preschool. So I might just start this video now and then continue it another day. But I'm just going to get off what I have on my mind right now and then just go from there. So, hello, hi, welcome to my channel. So, the last video that I posted is currently privated because I will get into why, but I stopped wanting to post my children publicly, and that was one of the many reasons why I wound up stopping. And I was going to be completely done, and I was going to make a goodbye video. I was going to explain why I was leaving, and then I kept leaving it because I was like, what if I decide to go back? I don't want to say goodbye and then have to, you know, pop on here again and be like, hey, what's up? Awkward. But I didn't actually leave. So I left that door open for myself to come back if I wanted to. Also, I apologize for looking in weird places right now. I'm filming on my phone. I literally sold my camera. Like, I was in my head so sure that I was done, but there's a lot of reasons behind the why of that. Okay, I really need to think. This is so hard because it's been so long since I uploaded that I have to really go back and like remember the last thing that you guys knew. And for anyone who is new here, I guess I'm just kind of explaining my life. So the last upload, yeah, it's privated because it has my kids in it and I stopped wanting to upload them. A lot has happened in that time. A lot. The last life event that was happening at the time that I stopped filming was I was going through court with my ex, my kid's dad, and it was just a lot. And at the time I had the kids full-time. They were in daycare. I was working part-time. I was very busy. It was a lot. I put a lot of pressure on myself to film a certain amount of videos a week and to make sure I had them uploaded and edited. So yeah, I took a step back and said, do I want to put pressure on myself this much that I stress myself out and take away from my kids, like time for my kids? And because I was just like rushing bedtime routines, rushing everything to make sure that I had time to edit at nighttime, which is just so silly because it's like, it's not a big deal. I was doing it for fun. I started YouTube for fun. I've always had a passion for filming. I have videos as a child, like, that I made, and I just love it. I love creating, and so it's something that I am passionate about and I want to continue, and I'm so excited to be back. And so yeah, welcome to my channel. I hope you decide to stay. Make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any upcoming uploads. I have decided a very easy uploading schedule for myself. Every Wednesday. If I miss a Wednesday, oh well. But that will be the day that videos go up. If there isn't If there isn't a video on that Wednesday, just know there will be one the following Wednesday or the one after that. That's the days I'm going to be uploading. I'm not putting pressure on it. This is something I love. I'm not doing it as a job. I'm not being paid for it currently. Maybe I will be one day. That would be amazing. However, that's not the goal from it. The goal is to film memories and have these memories to look back on and create. And that is something I love doing, is creating. So I'm going to just kind of connect the dots for you guys, but I have to go grab my daughter from preschool, so I think I will probably continue this tomorrow. I mean, this will be in the same video, so I'm just letting you guys know I will look different the next time I'm filming, unless I have time to do this later. Anyways, that's the update for now, and I'll see you in a second. For me, it has been a couple days. For you guys, it's been a millisecond, but I am back. I actually just dropped my daughter off at preschool. Ironically, she goes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I filmed that last clip on Monday. It is Wednesday today. So I am back. I just am at this little park with my son and my boyfriend. So I just thought I would finish off this video for you guys. I really want to get it uploaded. So getting it done, getting it uploaded so that I can start vlogging again and sharing content and making content. And I'm so excited. So let's finish off this video. The last video that I posted, we're approaching on almost exactly 2 years ago, and the last time you guys saw me vlogging, if you were subscribed to me, if you're new here, I will just tell you, at that time I only had 2 kids. I now have 3. I'm gonna just go back to how I wound up with the 3rd. I met this guy on a dating app, and it was around a time where I wasn't quite ready to have a relationship. My mind was kind of still stuck on somebody else, and so I wasn't sure I was ready to have like a steady like relationship. However, I also wasn't wanting to like have flings either. I just was connecting with people and seeing where it went, and if it went somewhere, it went somewhere, and if it didn't, it didn't. So I decided to meet him, and I had literally met him the day after I got done with the court case with my other ex, like my other kid's dad. So my first 2 kids have a different dad than my now baby that I just had, who is now 1. He just turned 1. I need to stop getting off track. I will get into his details later. So yeah, I met with this guy, we hit it off, and he had 1 kid as well who was 3 years older than my first son, Noah, who is now 5. And I felt like we would be really good together, and so before I got too attached, I decided to ask him what he wanted, what his intentions were for dating, you know, because if all he wanted was a fling, like, that wasn't for me. And so I just wanted to be clear on his intentions because I didn't want to waste time. And he stated that he was ready for a relationship. He wanted to be committed. I was hesitant because I wasn't sure I was ready, but I really liked him, and so I gave it a chance, and we started hanging out more, and we officially became boyfriend, girlfriend about a week after we met. We would take all our kids to the beach, to the parks. We went camping. He love bombed the crap out of me, and I didn't realize it at the time that that's what was happening. Looking back on it now, yeah, it was obvious. But because I wasn't quite over a previous situation and I moved really quickly with this, I just was blinded. Anyways, before we went camping and stuff, I need to backtrack a little bit. He was actually previously engaged to somebody a week before I met him, and I didn't know that at the time. He didn't tell me that, even though I was very open with him about my past. He sat there and listened to my past and said nothing about his. And anyways, I found out through Facebook stalking, because that's just I'm good at that. And his name on the dating app wasn't the exact same as it was on his Facebook. Not like his first name, but he doesn't have his last name on his Facebook, so it's just his middle names on his Facebook. Anyways, so I couldn't find his Facebook when I first started talking to him. Otherwise, I would have found this out a lot sooner. Honestly, a week after meeting is pretty good that I found out that quick. So I found out through Facebook stalking that he was previously engaged. He left that engagement. They were living together. He left her, and I'm assuming was just trying to hook up with people. And I was, in his mind, a rebound, but he stated that he was ready for a relationship. Why would you do that if you weren't? Anyways. So I confronted him about the engagement and his fiance and all that. And he was very patient, very forthcoming about it. He was honest and open once I asked him. He just explained that he didn't know how to like bring that up when we had first met, which I kind of like understood because it's not really something, I guess. Anyways, personally, I wouldn't tell someone I'm ready for a committed relationship after just leaving an engagement, but that's just me. And he was patient about the fact that I wasn't sure that I wanted to continue like seeing him. He said that he really understood, but he hoped that I would forgive him and for not telling me. And eventually I did. I came to the conclusion of even though it was a week prior to meeting me, things happen. People can be over relationships before they're done, and I understand that. And so I let it go, and I did ask around to a couple people that I knew who were friends with him on Facebook, and they had nothing bad to say about him. And so I said, you know what? I've heard no bad judgment on his character. Let's just go ahead and continue, because you never know. And so I continued, and very shortly after we started dating, I found out I was pregnant. Now, the first test that I took was a very, very, very small line. And the reason I took a test at all was because I am not a pickle eater. So random, but one day I went in the fridge and I saw a jar of pickles, and I just went to town. And I ate like 7 of these pickles, and that was so strange for me. And I remember thinking, like, that's so weird. And then I was craving this like pickle chicken tender thing that you dip in like ranch sauce, and I like had to have it. Like I was like madly craving this, which is so crazy because I had cravings before I even found out. So that's why I originally took a test, and I saw a very faint line to the point where I sent it to my best friend, and she thought I was crazy. She was like, your girl, like, maybe test again later. And so I did. I tested again that night, and it was darker. There was a second line for sure. It was definitely there. And I took another test the next day. Again, very positive. So I went to the store and I grabbed, because when I go to test first, I usually grab a dollar store test, just because pregnancy tests are so expensive. And then to confirm, I will grab a higher end one. So I went to the store and grabbed a first response one, and I took that one, and it was positive. And I think I got a double pack, one that says like the digital one, and then one with the line. So the one with the line was positive, and then I took the digital one and it said pregnant. And so I was kind of not, I wouldn't say in shock, because obviously I know how babies are made. However, obviously we weren't careful, but this baby wasn't planned per se. So it was a bit of a scary situation, stressful situation. I was very nervous. I had just met this person not long before finding out, and it was just a lot to process. But at the same time, I had always wanted a third child, so I was excited to have a baby. And so I told him that day, the day that I took the first response test, and I got a little onesie and a little baby toy, and I laid it on my bed. And he came into my room, and he was also, same feelings, shocked, but he was very, very supportive. He came over and he hugged me, and we talked, and there was no doubts whether we were going to keep the baby or not. There was no conversation of whether or not that was going to happen. We were keeping this baby, and he was so scared but excited and supportive. I found out at 3 weeks, and for 6 weeks of my pregnancy, or 7 weeks of my pregnancy, he was there and supportive. He talked about names with me together. He said we could hyphenate our last names together. I did not see what was coming at all. He got me a promise ring and earrings. He's like love bombing the crap out of me to distract me from whatever the heck he's doing behind my back. And I don't realize this at the time. Our ultrasound date comes, and I text him something along the lines of, I love you, I can't wait to see our baby today, or something like that. All he texts me back is, when you pick me up, can you please bring my blue bag? He left a bag there of stuff, a Walmart bag of stuff. And we need to talk after the ultrasound. Everybody knows what we need to talk means. I'm a hormonal lady. I hear we need to talk. And I'm the one who needs to go pick him up for this ultrasound because he doesn't have a vehicle at the time. And so I try to call him. He doesn't answer. I try to call him again. He doesn't answer. I keep trying to call him. He finally picks up, and I'm crying because I'm hormonal. We're about to go to an ultrasound, and he is telling me that we need to talk. So in my head, I'm like, he's breaking up with me, obviously. So he finally answers, and he is very calm. I'm crying. I'm saying, why are you doing this? He says, I need space. And I'm just so confused at this point because in my head, we're doing good. We're doing great. Nothing's wrong. We had maybe a couple bickered, arguments kind of due to my hormones, but it was nothing to the fact of needing space. We had no big blow ups. There was nothing. It was so strange in my mind. And the only thing I could think was the fact that he was going to this mud festival thing in a week coming up. And so I was anyways, so he said he needed space. I begged him to not do this, which, ladies, please don't ever beg a man to not leave you. Let him leave. If he wants to leave, sayonara, bye-bye, out the door. Don't beg a man to stay. Do not beg a man to stay. But I did. And he just told me he just needed some time. He was still going to be there for the baby. And anyways, so we left it at that. I couldn't handle going to pick him up at this point. I was too shooken up. I was too emotional. I was very upset at the fact that this was happening right before my first ultrasound. But anyways, I went to the ultrasound. I saw my baby. It was I don't even know how to explain where my mind was at this point because I was just in shock of what was happening. And so I had a hard time being in the moment for that first ultrasound. But luckily the ultrasound tech who did my scan sent me with so many pictures. I think she felt bad that I was alone, or she could sense that I was not okay that day. Anyways, so that was really sweet of her. And then fast forward, hold on one second. Okay, my little guy has joined me. Anyways, I fast forward, he didn't speak to me at all for 3 weeks straight. Not a word, not a text, not a check-in. How's our baby doing? How are you feeling? Nothing. I get we weren't together, but I was still carrying his child. So to not say a word to me for 3 weeks is just crazy. He goes to this mud fest. He texts me the day he leaves the mud fest. Interesting. And he expects me to respond right away. And he's texting me and texting me and texting me. You just didn't talk to me for 3 weeks straight, and you're gonna expect me to answer you right away. So he goes to my best friend. He unblocks her from Facebook, and he tries to get her to talk to me. She says she'll talk to you when she's ready. Eventually, I did answer him, and I told him that these are the things that need to happen if we were going to even attempt to be together. because he had just ignored me for 3 weeks, and that wasn't okay. And he acknowledged it wasn't okay. He acknowledged all the wrongs he did. He acknowledged the fact that leaving me before the ultrasound was not cool, that he missed the ultrasound and that wasn't okay. He asked me for the ultrasound picture. He begged for me back. He agreed to all the terms that I gave him, which was basically counseling, being honest with me. It was very basic, like, things. And he agreed to it. We were talking, like, all day for 2 days straight. And then radio silence. And he went missing prior to this. And my assumption was that he my assumption was that he was with his ex-fiance. And I had no proof that's where he had been, but that's where I had assumed that's where he was when he went missing, because there was posts all over Facebook looking for him. I couldn't get a hold of him. Nobody could get a hold of him. Eventually we did, and he said he was in the town that she was in, but he was helping a friend move. I didn't believe it, but I had no proof. And then so when he went radio silent and literally ghosted me as I'm carrying his child, I'm assuming that's when he found out his ex-fiance was also pregnant. So he got me pregnant, and then 2 months later got his ex-fiance pregnant, or 3 months later. And our babies are 2 months apart because my baby was super late. I'll get into that another video. But yeah, so he ghosted me for reasons. I'm assuming she told him that she was pregnant and he didn't know what to do. This is just my assumptions, because after that day, I have not heard a word from him since. Yes, my baby just turned 1 and I haven't heard a word from his father. So that is where my life is at since I left YouTube. I have an amazing life. I have an amazing partner who I have now, and I will introduce him in another video. He's amazing. He loves my baby. I am so grateful for him. My little baby back there, amazing. No regrets. I am so happy that I was blessed with him. I am so glad that I got to have a third baby, and I have zero regrets. But going through what I've gone through is not an easy thing, and I'm making this video and putting this out there because I want other women to not feel alone if they do go through this. I hope to God nobody ever has to go through this, but this is something that you see in movies. This is something you hear about. This is not something you ever think that you're going to go through. So I just want to make it aware that if you have gone through this, you're not alone. Unfortunately, guys do dip. And so, yeah. He got me pregnant, got her pregnant, and then ghosted both of us. Got with another girl. She just had a baby 2 to 3 months ago. He had 3 babies within the same year of each other, like all within a year apart, which is just baffling. Yeah. Hi, my sweet boy. So, come here. Do you want to say hi to the vlog? For the first time, let me introduce Lucas. Who's this? Look, say hi. So he was born March 2025. I will do a whole separate video on my birth story with him because it was a rough one. I potentially came very close to dying. So look out for that because that one is going to be very interesting. I'm trying to this is going to be such a long video, but I'm trying to include all the facts without making this super, super long. And I'm struggling to think. So since then, I have ran into him one time. I've seen him all over town. We live in the same town, unfortunately. So running into him is going to happen. And I've ran into him in person one time in a store, and I showed him his son, and he said, "That's not my son." I have done ancestry DNA tests on him. He has matched with multiple of his family members. And we have a court order now. So he's on child support orders. Will he pay? Probably never. But there's consequences for that if he doesn't. My baby deserves to have what he deserves. So that is the update. as far as his involvement with him. He has no intentions on being involved, even though I have multiple texts. Up! Hi! I have multiple texts of him stating that he wants to be a part of the baby's life regardless of what happens between him and I would have let him. I have always been the person to believe that dads deserve to be a part of their kids' life unless there's like a huge reason not to let them. And yeah. But my little Lucas is great. He's healthy. He's so smart. He's so funny. His siblings love him. He loves his siblings. He loves my boyfriend. My boyfriend loves him. And yeah, so that is my update. It has been a very long time since I have been back. I'm so happy to be back. I cannot believe that I'm back doing this. Also, I am vlogging on my phone, which is so weird because I was so into like finding a fancy camera to vlog with before, and now I'm just like, I'll just vlog on my phone. It's easier. So yeah, I'm gonna upload every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. Make sure to look forward to those videos. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any. He's calling for my boyfriend. He calls him Lolo. And Dada sometimes. Hi. And I will catch you guys next week for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Say bye-bye. Say bye. Bye-bye. You look so much like me. Do you look like Mama? Hi. Can I have a kiss? Oh, you almost fell. Kiss. Mwah. Thank you. You're so cute. Bye, guys.